What if I told you that the hardest work you do in your garden is actually destroying it? That is right. Every spring, millions of people drag heavy rototillers out of their sheds or grab a shovel, ready to break a sweat. But here's the crazy paradox. The more you dig, the worse your soil becomes. I know this sounds completely backward to everything we have been taught about growing vegetables. But today, I'm going to show you why throwing away your spade is the greatest gardening secret you will ever learn. We are talking about the hidden magic of the no-dig garden and the microscopic underground internet that you are currently chopping into pieces. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will look at the dirt under your feet in a completely different way, and you will save yourself hundreds of hours of exhausting labor. So, tell me the truth before we start. Do you still till your garden every year? Let me know in the comments right now, because we are about to start a gardening revolution. For generations, the image of a good gardener was someone standing with a shovel in a patch of perfectly bare, turned-over earth. Our grandfathers tilled the soil, and their grandfathers did the same. We were told that breaking up the dirt was necessary to let the roots breathe and to kill the weeds. But science has finally caught up with nature. Beneath the surface of a healthy garden lies an ancient, highly intelligent ecosystem. The star of this underground world is a biological phenomenon called mycorrhiza. The word mycorrhiza translates to fungus root. It is a symbiotic relationship between plant roots and specialized fungi that has evolved over 400 million years. Before plants even had proper roots to survive on land, they relied on these fungi. To understand why digging is so bad, we first have to understand the invisible heroes we are attacking. Let us dive straight into the dirt, but we are not looking at plain dirt. We are looking at a highly advanced underground internet. Scientists often call it the Wood Wide Web. Picture a vast fiber optic network running right under your boots. This network connects almost every single plant in your garden. This is the realm of mycorrhizal fungi. It is a beautiful partnership that has existed since the dawn of nature. When you look at a plant, you only see half the story. The other half is underground. The roots of your plants are actually quite blind and clumsy. They can only reach so far into the earth. But the microscopic threads of the mycorrhizal fungi are incredibly thin. They attach to the plant roots and spread out for miles in every direction. They weave through the tiniest cracks in the soil. They search for water and nutrients that the plant could never reach on its own. It is like plugging your computer into a global high-speed internet connection. Without this connection, your tomatoes and peppers are living in the dark ages. They are isolated, alone, and struggling to survive. But when they tap into this fungal network, they become part of a massive, supportive community. They can even send warning signals to each other through these fungal threads if insects attack them. It is pure underground magic. So, what happens when you take a shovel or a shiny new rototiller to this magical network? Well, prepare yourself for a harsh truth. Every time you dig, turn, or till your soil, you are essentially launching a weapon of mass destruction. Imagine an incredible, bustling city with highways, power lines, and water pipes. Now, imagine a massive earthquake ripping through that city, shredding every piece of infrastructure into tiny pieces. That is exactly what a shovel does to the delicate fungal threads in your garden. It slices them up and destroys the entire communication network. There is a very popular myth that we need to till the soil to make it loose and aerated. People think digging helps the plants breathe, but this is completely backward. Tilling actually introduces too much oxygen all at once. This burns up the organic matter and kills the beneficial microbes. Without the fungi to hold the soil together, the dirt turns into a fine dust. The first heavy rain will turn that dust into a solid concrete brick. Then, you think you have to dig it again because it is too hard. It is a vicious, endless cycle of destruction. You are doing backbreaking labor just to make your garden soil worse year after year. Now let us look closer at how this amazing partnership actually works. It is the ultimate fair trade market happening right under our feet. Plants are fantastic at making sugar. They use sunlight to perform photosynthesis, creating carbon-rich sugars. But plants are actually quite terrible at finding solid minerals like phosphorus, zinc, and copper in the earth. Fungi, on the other hand, cannot make their own food because they do not have green leaves. But they are absolute masters at mining solid rock and extracting microscopic minerals. So they make a deal. The plant gives the fungus a steady supply of sweet, high-energy liquid sugar. In return, the fungus acts like a microscopic delivery service. It brings buckets of water and essential minerals straight to the plant roots. It is a perfect exchange. If you use synthetic chemical fertilizers, you actually break this magical bond. When you dump artificial nitrogen and phosphorus on the soil, the plant gets lazy. It stops feeding the fungi with sugar. The plant says, "Why should I pay the fungus when I'm getting free junk food from the gardener?" But just like humans eating fast food, the plant becomes weak and dependent on chemicals. The fungi die off and you are left with dead dirt. Let us talk about something every gardener fears: drought. When the hot summer days arrive and rain forgets to fall, gardens suffer. But a garden with a healthy, undisturbed mycorrhizal network has a secret superpower. These fungal threads, called mycelium, dramatically increase the root surface area of your plants. Sometimes they expand the root zone by up to 700 times. Just think about that number. It is like giving your plant a massive, invisible water bottle that reaches deep into the earth. The microscopic fungal threads can pull moisture from tiny pores in the soil that plant roots are simply too fat to enter. During a severe dry spell, the fungus acts like a living sponge. It holds onto water and slowly feeds it back to the plant just to keep its sugar supplier alive. I have seen this with my own eyes. Gardens that are dug and tilled every spring wilt immediately when the sun gets hot. The bare soil bakes in the sun. But in a no-dig garden, where the fungal network is intact, the plants stay green and perky. They are pulling deep reserves of moisture through their fungal allies. By putting your shovel away, you are basically drought-proofing your vegetable beds. You will save a tremendous amount of time on watering. But the benefits of these underground allies do not stop at food and water. They also act as a highly trained private security force for your vegetables. Down in the soil, there are good guys, but there are also plenty of bad guys. There are microscopic worms called root knot nematodes and nasty diseases that cause root rot. When a plant forms a partnership with mycorrhizal fungi, the fungus physically wraps around the plant roots. It weaves a tight, protective shield. Imagine a group of tough bouncers standing at the door of a very exclusive club. They simply do not let the bad microbes get anywhere near the sensitive root tissue. But the defense goes even deeper than a physical barrier. The fungi also produce special biochemicals. These chemicals are like natural antibiotics that repel dangerous pathogens. If a disease tries to attack one plant, the warning travels through the underground web. The neighboring plants receive the signal and immediately start boosting their own immune systems before the disease even reaches them. When you constantly dig up your garden, you fire your entire security team. You leave your plants naked and completely vulnerable to every passing disease in the dirt. Let us tackle another massive pain for every gardener: weeds. I know you hate weeding. We all do. But here is a shocking fact. Digging is actually the #1 cause of your weed problem. You might think you are turning the weeds under to kill them, but what you are really doing is opening a massive ancient time capsule. Every square inch of your soil contains thousands of dormant weed seeds. They are just sleeping down there in the dark. They can sleep for decades, waiting for their moment. What do they need to wake up? A flash of sunlight and a bit of oxygen. When you take a spade and turn the soil over, you bring millions of those sleeping seeds right to the surface. You are literally planting weeds. This is a huge myth that we need to bust right now. Tilling does not eliminate weeds, it multiplies them. In a no-dig system, we leave the soil completely alone. We do not disturb the sleeping weed seeds. Instead, we add a thick layer of compost right on top. This blocks the light from the old seeds. The few weeds that do blow in on the wind are incredibly easy to pull out because the compost is so loose and fluffy. By throwing away your shovel, you are saving yourself hundreds of hours of bending over. You might be wondering, if I do not dig, how does the soil get that beautiful, crumbly texture? How does it become soft enough for carrots to grow straight down? The answer is a magical substance called glomalin. For a very long time, scientists did not even know glomalin existed. It was only discovered in the late 1990s. Glomalin is a sticky, biological glue produced specifically by mycorrhizal fungi. As the fungal threads grow through the soil, they leak this sticky substance. It acts like the egg in a cake recipe. It binds tiny dust particles together into larger, spongy clumps called aggregates. These clumps create little pockets of air and channels for water to flow through. This is what gives healthy soil that dark, rich chocolate cake texture. Without glomalin, soil is just dead dust that washes away in the rain. When you use a rototiller, you chop up the fungi and stop the production of glomalin. The soil structure completely collapses. But when you leave the soil undisturbed, the fungi work day and night, pumping out this organic glue. They literally build the soil structure for you perfectly. It is the ultimate lazy gardening hack. You let nature do the heavy lifting while you relax. So, how do you actually start a no-dig garden and invite these fantastic fungi into your life? It is incredibly simple, and you can start today. The secret is to build up, not dig down. We call this the lasagna method. First, you take plain brown cardboard and lay it directly over your grass or your old tired garden bed. Make sure to remove any plastic tape. This cardboard layer will smother the existing weeds and grass. Then, you simply spread a thick layer of good quality compost right on top of the cardboard. About 4 to 6 inches is perfect, and that is it. You are done. You do not mix it in. You do not turn it over. You just leave it. The worms will come up from below, eat the cardboard, and pull the rich compost down into the earth. The mycorrhizal fungi will quickly establish their massive networks in this undisturbed haven. When it is time to plant, you just make a small hole in the compost and pop your seed or seedling in. From day one, your new plants will plug into the underground internet. You will have fewer weeds, less disease, and you will barely need to water. You will transform from an exhausted laborer into a conductor, orchestrating a beautiful symphony of soil life. And here's the ultimate plot twist. The absolute best gardener in the world is the one who does the least amount of damage. By simply putting down your tools and letting the mycorrhizal fungi build their invisible empire, you unlock a level of garden health you never thought possible. You stop fighting nature, and you start letting nature work for you. The days of breaking your back with a heavy shovel are over. You now know the secret of the underground internet, the power of glomalin, and the magic of the no-dig garden. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to heal your soil. If this video changed the way you look at gardening, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like so we can spread the word. Now, I have a question for you. Are you finally ready to try the no-dig method this season, or are you still too attached to your old rototiller? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us talk about it.